I'm Leah Lane, an award-winning travel writer and author of Places I Remember, Tales, Truths, Delights from 100 Countries. On this podcast, we share conversations with travelers about fascinating destinations and memorable experiences around the world. My first trip to Dubai in the Arabian Desert near the Persian Gulf was a stopover on a flight to India in 1984. Looking down from the plane, I saw a small town and a whole lot of sand. In 2014, when I returned, I was blown away. Dubai was a shimmering, soaring metropolis, rising from the sands like a set from a futuristic movie. The earliest written record of Dubai is in the 10th century AD. And around 1580, the state jeweler of Venice documented the pearl diving industry there. In the early 18th century, Dubai was a fishing village. And by 1822, a town of about 800 members of a sheikh's tribe from nearby Abu Dhabi. With its business-savvy ruling family reducing taxes and welcoming foreign merchants, Dubai expanded further in the early 20th century and soon became a re-exporting hub for Persia and India. The UAE, the United Arab Emirates, was created in 1970 following the independence from Great Britain. Dubai is now the capital city of the Emirate of Dubai and one of the wealthiest of the Emirates. It's now a city of around 3 million. And it's been compared to Singapore, Hong Kong, Las Vegas, with soaring skyscrapers, ports, desert, and beaches, a place of big business and tourism. Because of its large expatriate population, Dubai feels like a Middle Eastern melting pot, and the atmosphere is generally tolerant. Our guest today is one of those expats, Geraint Isett. He's a published author, a prize-winning amateur photographer, and an avid traveler. He's lived and worked in the Middle East for 14 years. Welcome, Geraint. How would you describe living as an expat in Dubai?
First of all, Leah, thank you for having me on the podcast. I'm a fan. The first word that comes to mind is safe. I just feel incredibly safe here. For example, my mom came to visit a few years back, and we were walking back from a restaurant 11:30 at night, so it's nice and dark. And there were women out jogging with headphones on, and my mom's like, "You wouldn't see that back home." And I'm like, "Well, they know they're protected here." So I do feel safe and blessed. I'm going to be honest. I feel blessed to have had the chance to have lived and work here. So that's a good intro.
Is it an expensive city to live in?
My wife and I, we drive a Mazda. There are times where you stop at a traffic light and you're sandwiched between a Lamborghini and an Aston Martin. So it can be quite easy to get pangs of jealousy, but you can live within your means. And thankfully, apart from me having a golf and photography addiction and my wife photography and shoes, we do quite well.
Well, what about the heat?
Okay, well, yeah, we're in the middle of summer right now. I can do a quick Google to find out what it is in Fahrenheit, but we normally can hit mid 40s to 50 degrees Celsius in the summer. And then it can get quite humid because we're surrounded by water. So with the humidity, it can feel like 65 degrees sometimes. So you go from air-conditioned building.
Celsius.
Yeah, that's Celsius. So what's 60 degrees Celsius? 130?
It's hot.
Maybe. Yes, it's hot.
It's hot.
It's not quite that hot physically. It'll get up to mid 40s in Celsius, but with the humidity, summer's not so fun. But the good news is there's lots and lots of air conditioning. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you go from air conditioning. We have underground parking, which helps as well. And then air-conditioned office at work. Yeah.
Dubai, I know, is on a barren coastal plain. It has rolling dunes, and it has a coastline and a sand desert, the world's largest sand desert. And it has a rugged mountain range, which it shares with Oman, which frames the outskirts of the city. So what outdoor activities do you enjoy there?
In the summer, very few, but in the winter months, Dubai, as you said, it does share towards the northern border. You'll get into the smaller emirates of Ras Al Khaimah and Fujairah. They're about an hour and a half away, but you've got, there's great diving there, there's snorkeling, Jebel Jais mountain range. As you mentioned, they've just opened up a Bear Grylls adventure camp there. There's the world's longest zip line. Myself, as a photographer, There are some man-made lakes out in the deserts just on the outskirts of Dubai. So 25 minutes from the Burj Khalifa, you've got a series of man-made lakes that attract. They've recorded over 400 species of birds that come through the region. And yes, so you can walk around the lakes. There's mangroves. There's a wetland right inside downtown Dubai, like right next to the Burj Khalifa, which again is quite popular and beautiful. So you can get a sense of the outdoors here as well. It's not just the skyscrapers.
I think when you think about Dubai, you think about these skyscrapers and the over-the-top opulence. Let's talk a little bit about that. There are a whole bunch of super deluxe hotels. The most famous is still the Burj Al Arab. I actually got to stay there. I was doing a story for an upscale magazine, and they invited me to stay. And it was quite an experience. They picked me up at the airport in a white Rolls Royce. I suppose I could have been helicoptered over because they have a helipad, but they took me in the Rolls Royce, and they asked me what music I wanted. I could choose anything. I chose Middle Eastern music, and they drove about half an hour to the hotel. And then I was greeted by my butler, and I had a standard room, but it was 2 stories. It was bigger than my apartment in Miami. I mean, it was standard, but I think it must have been over 2,000 square feet. There were 2 floors. There was a living room. There was a small kitchen. There was a beautiful staircase that looked like I was in Tara, Gone with the Wind. It was so gorgeous. And then there was this huge bedroom and huge bathroom, and it was just incredible. And I remember I couldn't even let anyone in the door because the security was so strong. My husband wanted to get in, but I had to get a call on the phone, and then I had to look on the TV to see if he was the right person. It was quite something. But I do recommend you could go in there and just look around. I think you have to pay a little fee. I'm not sure if it's...
I've been once with work. I won a contest we had at Christmas, and the winners we got to go to the Burj Al Arab for hot chocolate sprinkled with gold dust, of course. And somehow they let us have a look of the room where you may have stayed, because it was their basic room, but again,
right, just a basic room with a butler.
Floor. Bottom level was the living room, of course, expansive views of the Gulf.
It's over the top, and there are many other over the top places like that, and that's what Dubai is known for. But there must be some less expensive places to stay, I assume.
Yeah, of course there are. I mean, you'll get your standard big name hotel chains. You've got Ritz-Carlton. We've got the Conrad downtown, which is a Hilton hotel. We've got also one and only Mirage hotels, and Antara, which is an Asian chain, but they're known to be quite nice.
Are there B&Bs?
There used to be a couch surfing movement here, which I guess predated Airbnb. But no, you can find like Ramada hotels and the Ibis and stuff for
good to know.
Like Premier Inns for $50 US a night.
I think that's a good idea. You can always go in the lobbies of some of these hotels and look around and get the feel for it, and you don't have to stay there.
Exactly. I mean, even around the Dubai Mall, you'll have the Address Hotel, which is quite lovely. Not to the 7-star extent that you'll get of the Burj Al Arab, but when they say 5-star here, they mean it. And yeah, I mean
7-star, right? They're very proud of that. Speaking of the Dubai Mall, this is one of the largest shopping centers in the world. There's more than 1,300 stores. There's an ice rink, a movie theater. Is that where the skiing is? The indoor skiing?
No, the indoor ski hill is at a place called Mall of the Emirates. So it's a smaller mall. It was actually my favorite one in Dubai because you could walk around it quite comfortably. The Dubai Mall just got really, really large. But yeah, the Mall of the Emirates has the indoor ski hill, and they've got penguins there as well.
I heard it has penguins. It has 5 ski runs and a snowboard zone and a chairlift. I mean, you can just do about anything in Dubai. A quad chair. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
If you want to go to the beach, the best one I hear is Jumeirah Public Beach near the Burj Al Arab.
That's a nice beach. I like area. Kite Beach is quite nice as well, which isn't too far away because you get a lot of kite surfers and stuff out there. It's just a very active, again, public beach. A lot of the hotels on the beachfront will have private beaches as well. So if you're staying there, you can feel a little bit more pampered, I guess.
Right.
which is, I mean, a lot of people come to Dubai to feel pampered.
One of the
Locations.
symbols of the city is the Burj Khalifa, of course, the tallest building in the world, 2,722 feet, 160 stories, and home to the highest outdoor observation deck. I've been there. You ride the elevator up to the 124th floor, but a lot of people don't know you can go higher to the 148th floor. You have to reserve that.
Yep.
And it's worth it, I think, if you're going to go all the way there, and especially around sunset so you can see the day turn into night. Have you done that a lot?
That's my favorite. That's whenever I have to take visitors, I always book at sunset, just because I also find that Dubai is such a beautiful city at night because of all the skyscrapers. And like once the sun goes down and the darkness comes and they all light up, it's just it's absolutely beautiful. So
it is. It's spectacular.
Yes.
Now there's an old quarter, the Bastaika, is that pronounced correctly? The Bastakaya quarter, I think it would be. And that's where
Kiya.
That's where the city started, the historic district where the fishing village began. And it's called that name because it traded with Bastaks, Iranian traders that settled there in the 19th century. It's a charming little neighborhood. It has a very popular outdoor cafe called the Arabian Tea House. It has art galleries, the Dubai Museum, and something called wind towers. It's an early form of air conditioning. Can you explain what a wind tower, how that was air conditioning in the old days?
Oh, wow. You're stumping me here. Come on, wind towers?
Yeah, they're an early form of air conditioning. I think that area is a very nice contrast because you could take a boat ride across Dubai Creek and go to the souks. There's a gold souk that has approximately 20% of the world's gold passing through the market. And it has about 300 retailers. And you can kind of count on it because it's very heavily governed. The government controls it and you can count on what you get. And on the other side of the creek, you have the spice souk where you have all the wonderful pungent spices like cinnamon and ginger and chili and saffron. I take people a couple of times I've taken people there. It feels like the old Middle East, not this futuristic city right next to it.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It was one of my favorite places to go during the winter days as well. It's just nice to walk around there. And as you said, they're on the opposite side of the creek. You can take an Abra across the creek, the old wooden boats, and they're it costs about 50 cents American to get on the Abra across the creek, and you've got the spice souk, and there's the perfume souks as well. Souk is market, and plus it's a good place to try your haggling skills.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you want to go out a little further to the edge of the city, to the conservation reserve, is about 87 square miles of the desert, which is normally a research unit, but you can do sandboarding, archery, dune bashing in a luxury four-wheeler. I did that. It's kind of fun. And then at night, we sat on cushions and we had a dinner out in the sands and we had henna tattoos and dancing. And it was just beautiful. Have you done that?
I've done that. Again, it's one of the things that take out friends who visit the city, and there are plenty of companies that offer packages and tours out there. You can also just go out to the conservation reserve and hear about the wonderful work they've done bringing back the Arabian oryx from near extinction and stuff like that. Again, it's a wonderful place to go out and take photographs as well. There's just something about watching a sunset or a sunrise over the dunes that you forget that there's a city of 3 million people 20 minutes away.
I know, it's incredible. That part, amazing. I know when you do that, you really marvel at it. Yeah. There's some other thing that's marvelous. It's called the Palm Islands. These are man-made artificial islands. They were created in 2001. It only took 4 years to build them, and each of them used over 53 million pounds of sand and 12 million pounds of rock, and they are created to look like a palm tree. From above, when you fly over, when you're in a high building, you see a palm tree, and there's another cluster called the World Islands, which is positioned to resemble a world map. So, one of those things that see it, but you just think, how can this be? It's just only a few years since it's been a a tiny town, and now you have artificial islands and gorgeous hotels out there.
Yeah. That's where a lot of the opulence is. The Palm is just great. Again, during the winter months, you'll see hundreds of families just walking around the pathways of the Palm. You've got, of course, the blockbuster hotel is the Atlantis. That's the one that most people will have seen a photo of right out on the end of the palm tree, but restaurants as well. It's just a great
spas. I went and had a Turkish hammam. I remember it was the most luxurious experience I've ever had in a spa. Again, I was doing a story for an upscale magazine. I was very lucky that day. Very lucky.
You've done more upscale things in Dubai than I have. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I'm very grateful. I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But I remember there's a new fountain, a palm fountain. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's the first multicolored fountain in the city, and it uses 14,000 square feet of seawater to light up these staggering heights of water. There's 3,000 lights. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records.
I've not seen that one in person yet. I have seen the Dubai fountain many times, but I've not seen the Palm one in person yet. So
yeah, the Dubai fountain is famous by the Burj Khalifa, and it's set to music very much like the Bellagio in Las Vegas. Everybody gets to see that. There's an increasing art and culture scene in Dubai, and one of the unique art installations is a new one. It's the Theater of Digital Art. And a lot of cities are having these digital displays of Monet and Van Gogh and so forth. But this one's a permanent virtual reality. It has music and virtual display. So that's a good new thing. If you've been to Dubai before, this is a new feature. If you want to get out of Dubai, and I'm not sure why, but you can take some wonderful day trips out of Dubai. And the most famous one is to Abu Dhabi, which is about 45 minutes on the highway.
Yeah.
I've mentioned the fabulous Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque, which I talked about it in episode 25 and how I came back to see it. But there's also a great camel market, and there's a Falcon Hospital, and there's a branch of the Louvre Museum. So if you want to take a day or 2 or 3, you're very close to Abu Dhabi. If you get it, you fly into Dubai and you can go to both. I
think just a visit to the Grand Mosque, it is just a truly remarkable building. It's just, a feat of architecture. This region in general, is an architect's dream, really. Just the shapes and the sizes of the buildings and the curves and whatnot. Going back to the arts and cultures, Dubai is opening up the Museum of the Future. It's set to open later this year. And from the outside, the building just looks absolutely amazing. It's right on Sheikh Zayed Road, which is the main highway that bisects the city. It's 5 lanes each side. And it just looks amazing. Of course, Dubai's got Expo 2020 this year. It's still being called 2020, just like Tokyo Olympics were in 2020. And that kicks off right away. So that'll be more art and culture and just a vision of technology.
Yes, I think it's very interesting because Dubai started off with these attractions, these superlatives and activities, but it is now coming into a time of culture where both Abu Dhabi and Dubai are having some of the great museums of the world now. And it's a lovely thing to add that to the mix.
Yeah.
Let's talk about food. There's great regional food, but there are also great restaurants. There's star chefs all over the place. Incredible. And many in extraordinary settings. One of the most interesting is called Dinner in the Sky, where you can dine on a suspended table that about 50 meters high in the air. A crane kind of holds this thing, and you indulge in this delicious food while you're looking over the entire area. I did not do this. Have you done this one?
We actually had planned to do it, but then for some reason it fell through. But you're basically in this, I'm going to say glass cube. It's not glass. It's thicker than glass, but it's see-through floor as well. And you're suspended up, and it's a preset meal, of course. You can't pick off a menu and have it flown up to you, although I bet you that day is coming with drones and whatnot. But suspended up there, and you've got a 3-course meal, and I'm assuming 360-degree views. But no, I've not done it yet.
Well, I can imagine why you might not want to do it. I'm okay
with heights. I'm not bad with heights, which is good because most people who come here say you got to take up Burj Khalifa, and even on the 124th floor, you're still a fairly good way up.
Oh, yes. When you look down, you realize how high it is. The name of the podcast is Places I Remember. So, Geraint, could you please share with us a special memory of yours about Dubai?
The easiest and obvious one was getting married in Dubai. I mean, that's always gonna trump all of the random encounters with famous people that just happened. But yeah, no, I was fortunate enough that I married the lovely Sarah in a little church in Dubai. Despite it being the UAE being a Muslim country, they are very respectful of other faiths, and we got a little church wedding during lockdown time. So we were in masks. Our two guests were in masks, two witnesses. The minister was in masks, and we had it on Facebook Live, so our friends and family around the world could watch it. So that's always going to be, no matter what happens, that's going to be my takeaway.
Very romantic, and
that's my takeaway.
No, there's nothing more lovely than that. That is the most superlative thing of all.
Yeah,
so I'm very happy you shared that.
Thank you. I mean, I did live in the Dubai Marina, and so every Friday morning I would go to the same grocery store, and every Friday morning I would see the same retired English cricket star buying groceries, and it'd be just like morning. Before I got married, that may have been the big things, like, yeah, you need me by my first name, but yeah, but no, this is yeah.
Well, I've noticed a lot of the memories that people share are special memories like that, a small memory to some, but a big memory to the person. Yeah. And those are the things you carry with you the rest of your life, of course.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing that one.
You're welcome.
I do hope that Dubai keeps coming up with superlative things to see and do. We can all use a bit of magic in our lives as we traveled the world. So thank you, Geraint Isett, for helping us better understand what makes Dubai such an extraordinary destination.
Thank you once again, Leah, for inviting me on, and it's been my absolute pleasure.
Thanks for listening to our award-winning podcast. We've recorded over 100 episodes of Places I Remember, so follow us on any podcast app. And new monthly episodes are also on YouTube with gorgeous video. My book, Places I Remember, is available in print and Kindle, and I read the audio version. Follow my travel writing at Forbes.com. Contact me at the links in the show notes or on my website, placesirememberlealane.com, and keep making your own travel memories.